places above them in the football pyramid. On the bench, Zanev, Brown, Tilley, Ball, Callum Bailly, Ogundere, Jennings, Clark and Leach. Zanev and Callum Bailly on the bench, the only two survivors from the last time these two sides met. In fact, Zanev had started the last four meetings ahead of this one. Ipswich Town in all orange, aside from Walton in his pink outfit in their pre-match huddle off to our left-hand side. Wimbledon in blue with a yellow hoop across the front of their shirts, playing from right to left. It's going to be Harness jogging towards the yellow ball in the centre of the Cherry Red Record Stadium here in southwest London. Play underway in Ipswich Town's first FA Cup tie of the season. Wolfenden gets an early touch at the back, just skips away from his man and then knocks the ball out to the far side, headed in field by the left back Humphreys. Spoke as well as ever. That interview we just heard earlier on BBC Radio Suffolk. Edmondson's header reaches Pell on the halfway line. His glancing nod sees the ball out far side. Holds around about 9,200 this stadium. 1,200 Ipswich Town fans have made the trip. It's pretty much close to a sellout, this one. Wide on the left-hand side, good running this from Broadhead, blocked up but gets the ball back wide left, loops the ball into the Wimbledon box early doors, swung out towards the edge of the 18-yard area, headed out by the left-back Curry, come through the academy here. There's a couple of players in this squad have. Lemonhay Evans on this near side, couldn't do anything with the ball. That comes off him for a Town throw. Wimbledon with Pell. Looping forward for Davison to chase, being marshalled by Wolfenden. Twanzebe gets in the way, ends up on all fours. The referee, Matt Donoghue, who's in charge of this one, says play on. Here is Johnson, the left-sided centre-half for Wimbledon. Hutchinson, back in his native London, gives the ball to Harness, tries to play the 1-2. Hutchinson has the ball on the right-hand side for Ipswich, blocked off by Clark. Wimbledon get it back to Johnson, who swings it over the halfway line. Quite a cold afternoon here in South London. Kieran McKenna just maybe 20 yards down in front of us, watching on. Ipswich through Broadhead to Ladapo. Ladapo on the stretch, can't thread the ball forward to Hutchinson, who drifted into a central area. Another commanding header from Wolfenden, nodded down by Ladapo, but it reaches Lemonhay Evans, who plays it back to the man in all yellow, Bass, for his first touch.
Fairly frantic start runner at the moment. It's 100-mile-an-hour stuff, which you'd expect in an FA Cup match, but Ipswich are acquitting themselves well at the moment.
There is Edmondson, seeing the ball out behind. He did well, didn't he, at Stoke the other day?
Very well. Came back in and sort of, started to look like he was the player who reached those heights 2 seasons ago, when at that point he was without question our best defender.
And Twanzebe at right back had a good game on Monday as well, didn't he?
He did, very, very good, yeah.
That's where he's playing in front of us. The number 40, former Manchester United player, now has the ball. He's been given it by Jack Taylor. Another opportunity for Taylor in midfield. He'll be well aware that Sam Morsey can't feature in the next 2 league games. He'll be able to catch the eye, the former Peterborough man. First FA Cup appearance, of course, for Ipswich. There is Edmondson, far side, carrying the ball over halfway, dinking it forward for Ladapo, wide on the left. Flag stays down. Now it goes up when Freddie gets near to the ball. That's a free kick for AFC Wimbledon, who've had to win a couple of games to get to this stage of the competition. Scored 5 goals in both of them. They beat Cheltenham 5-1 here. Then, as expected, they saw off Ramsgate. That was by 5-0. And a decent reward for them. Championship high flyers on their own patch. 3rd round weekend. Davison, nice take from him on this near side. Then just outnumbered by 4 Town players. Hutchinson, Twanzebe, Morsey were all helping out Wolfenden. Harness behind Hutchinson. Ball straight to the feet of Johnny Jackson, the Wimbledon manager, in his 2nd season in charge here, former Charlton man. Morsey upends Lemonhay Evans on the halfway line. That's a free kick to AFC Wimbledon. Yeah,
there's a chance for a break there if Harness had been a little bit more precise in his pass. Hutchinson had made a run beyond the fullback, but unfortunately the pass wasn't up to it.
7th meeting between these two sides, first time ever in a cup competition. Town with a couple of wins so far. Wimbledon just the one. Johnson, terrible ball. Broadhead then heads it against the referee. It's an Ipswich Town ball midway inside their half of the field. Ipswich Town having this little break from league action before Sunderland come to Portman Road next Saturday tea time. A couple of fascinating games on the horizon for Town. Sunderland at home, then Leicester away. Wolfenden gets the ball back to him from Taylor. Wasn't too happy with that. Wolfenden could have put him in a spotted ball. They dealt with it well in the end. Twanzebe to Taylor inside the Ipswich Town half. The Oranges starting to ping the ball around. One touch from Morsey to Edmondson. Morsey demands the ball back off his centre half, then gets it to the edge of the centre circle, draws in Pell, gives it back to Wolfenden. Pell caused Ipswich Town a lot of problems a couple of years ago in League One, playing for Accrington, really bullied them on that occasion at the Wham Stadium. Unlikely to do that, one imagine, against Sam Morsey this afternoon. Here is Morsey, playing it to Edmondson, far side, drops his shoulder, carries it forward a few yards, but then the pass is poor behind Humphreys. And it's out for another throw to AFC Wimbledon, currently 7th in League 2, so in the last playoff position on this decent run, particularly here. 7 wins out of 8 on this ground. Edmondson goes back to Walton, short from him to Morsey. Morsey plays the ball to his right back, Twanzebe. There's open ground in front of him which he uses, then prods it down the line to Hutchinson. Hutchinson taking on Clark near side, just checks back infield to Harness, who looks to be playing the Chaplin role, if you like. He's now on the right hand side. Chaplin, good. Harness, low ball into the box. It's travelled a long way, and from Broadhead, 6 yards out, he makes contact, and it's come off a Wimbledon player last. It's out for a corner kick. Had it not, that could easily have been 1-0.
Yeah, it's very good, precise build up down the right side, very patient, waiting for the right ball. Harness injected a bit of pace into the move. Good cross, very difficult, and well defended in the end, that has to be said.
Yeah, it was, could easily have been an own goal against Wimbledon. Corner kick to Ipswich, 6 minutes gone in this FA Cup third round tie. Town looking for their first goal of the calendar year in. Poor delivery on that occasion, and it's been battered out the far side by that Wimbledon defence. Throw in to Ipswich. 0-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. There's commentary available on BBC Sounds as well, because it's an FA Cup, it's FA competition. Broadhead back to Humphreys. Humphreys on his right foot, gets his cross high towards the penalty spot. Uprises Ladapo. Might come to Ladapo a second time, it does. And his shot was goal bound. It's come off a Wimbledon defender for another corner.
That's a great cross there by Humphreys with his right foot, not his stronger foot. And I thought Ladapo had a real effort, but he didn't time his jump at all. But it fell nicely for him, leaning back, and just got a deflection over the bar.
Town winding things up a bit, exerting a bit of pressure on Wimbledon after 7 goalless minutes. Corner kick number 2 to Town in quick succession, and this time from Taylor towards the shot of Broadhead, and it nestles in the corner of the net. It took an almighty deflection in there. Certainly Broadhead, who met the corner on the edge of the box, and already Bass of Wimbledon, after 7.5 minutes, is picking the ball out of the back of his net. Ipswich Town's first goal of 2024 sees them go 1-0 up at Wimbledon in the Cup.
Yeah, well, it's the move they normally have with Connor Chaplin when he moves diagonally across the box from the penalty area. Good contact by Broadhead, excellent contact by Broadhead, but going into the far corner it looked, but there was a lot of bodies between the ball and the goal, but unfortunately for Wimbledon, off the defender and into the other corner.
Ball out to the far side for Wimbledon. Nightmare start for them against the higher level opponents. Throw in for AFC Wimbledon to be taken by Beeler, right back, another academy graduate here at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. He rolls the ball back to Pearce. Talking of own goals, Pearce actually scored for Ipswich Town whilst a Norwich City player in an East Anglian derby, an own goal back in the day. Had a good career though at Football League level, Alex Pearce, very experienced defender. Taylor's header is just cannons off of Pell. Ipswich tidied up back to Wolfenden on the edge of Walton's penalty area. 8.5 gone already. Ipswich Town a goal to the good. A few games kicking off around about 12:30, 12:45 in the FA Cup this afternoon. Game spread right across from Thursday to Monday in terms of the FA Cup this weekend. Here is Edmondson, giving it short to Taylor inside his half. Taylor back to Wolfenden. Wolfenden to Morsey. Morsey jabs it up in the air out to the right hand side. Tuanzebe controls it with his right instep, then tries to thread it through to Harness. Well read by Curry. Curry skips up to halfway out to the left hand side. Davison will get on the ball wide left outside the Ipswich area. Low into the box it comes. Cut out by Wolfenden. Wimbledon have their first corner.
Yeah, lovely ball down the left side. Beautifully weighted right into his path and went for the early cross and well cut out by Luke Wolfenden.
Corner kick to Wimbledon. It's Reeves, their captain, who's going to be taking it off to our left-hand side. Plays it short, gets it back. Reeves plays it towards the far post. Good cross, headed out by Tuanzebe, nodded back into the Ipswich area by Bieler. This time it's Edmondson underneath it. Lemonhay-Evans gets his header to the edge of the box. Up goes Edmondson again. Very Burgess-esque there with a couple of those headed clearances. Ladapo tries to shield the ball out far side and managed to do that. Town throw.
Yeah, good defending by Town there. 3 good headers, 2 of them by Edmondson.
Here is George Edmondson. Certainly has a part to play whilst Cameron Burgess is away with Australia these next few weeks. Morsey lifts the ball over the top of Davison. Again it's to Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe to Hutchinson. Tries the little dummy. Well read though by Curry. He likes to get forward. Curry's only 21. Just past 50 league appearances for the club. Tuanzebe next to Kieran McKenna. Throws the ball in field. Morsey sends it back with a bounce to Wolfenden. Wolfenden just in front of right back. Carries the ball diagonally 10 yards outside his penalty area, then goes square to Edmondson into midfield and Taylor goes backwards to Wolfenden. Town leading 1-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. A deflection after an effort from Broadhead has given them that bright start. Hutchinson rides the challenge of Curry. The referee says it was a foul. Hutchinson steps away from the free kick. Tuanzebe takes it. Morsey into centre field. Wolfenden to Taylor. Taylor turns, goes square to Morsey. It's got a triangle of blue shirts round him. Morsey. Wolfenden between the lines to Broadhead. Broadhead to his left. Edmondson. Town playing a bit of possession football in the middle third. There it's with Luke Wolfenden. Morsey gets it. Turns. Faces the Wimbledon half of the field and loops a ball forward, looking for the run of Humphreys. It was a good burst forward from the left back, dealt with by Wimbledon. Now it's with Lemonhay-Evans, who's actually moved across to the right hand side. Johnson, the centre half, jinks in field, gets away from Hutchinson and gives it to Curry. Curry down the line, looking for the run there of Sassu, who we've yet to see really in this game, the Norwegian player. Wolfenden behind right back, up against the tall Sassu. Sassu robs Wolfenden, he's done very well. Wolfenden slides to ground, corner kick to Wimbledon, well won by Sassu.
Yes, he won that one in quite a dangerous area there, and a good recovery tackle from Wolfenden, but corner to Wimbledon.
It's the first time I've mentioned Sassu that last 20 seconds or so, but he sprung into life there. He's done well to win Wimbledon this corner. Corner kick to Wimbledon. Town lead this FA Cup tie 1-0. Reeves plays it short yet again to Little. Little crosses into the Ipswich area. Oh, it should have been a goal for Wimbledon. Johnson underneath it. Walton was nowhere near it. He headed it over the bar. And what a chance for the home side to draw level.
Yeah, showed a bit of rustiness there, Walton, didn't he? Yeah. Because he made a big effort to come for the ball, but he was nowhere near it. I mean, if the fellow had got his header down, that would have been the equaliser.
Chance for Wimbledon, hopefully the best they'll get. Off Lemonhay-Evans for a Harness throw-in directly in front of us. It's Tuanzebe. Town fans enjoying themselves off to the right. Ladapo to Broadhead, breaks back to Broadhead outside the Wimbledon area, inside the D. Broadhead still got it, a little clever back heel, finds Humphreys. Humphreys cross looks a good one towards the far post. Ladapo and Hutchinson might have got in each other's way. It's out behind.
Yeah, lovely little cross there from Humphreys again. That's 2 real good crosses he's put in, and Ladapo has been very close to both of them, but unfortunately he was slightly obstructed by Hutchinson. Good play.
13 and a half minutes played. So far so good for Ipswich Town. They lead this FA Cup third round tie by 1-0. A deflected effort off a Wimbledon defender after a shot from Broadhead. Ipswich coming forward. Taylor to Broadhead, didn't get the ball fully under control. Bieler nudged from the back by Ladapo on the edge of the Wimbledon box. It's a free kick to the home side. And they played out to the far side. Bila has it once again. Doesn't get very far, held up by Ipswich Town. Back it goes to Reeves. Reeves arrived in the summer from Stevenage. Now it's on the edge of the box with Pearce. Now 35 years of age, Alex Pearce. Just had a loan spell at Norwich when he scored that own goal in an East Anglian derby. Lemonhay Evans to Pell. Pell out to the left-hand side. Davison keeps it in. He's done well, the number 9. Back heel from him. Curry gets the better of Twanzebe inside the Ipswich area. Into the middle it comes. Wolfenden's behind it again. Corner kick once more to Wimbledon.
Yeah, they're dangerous down this left side.
Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 nice moves they've made. They're particularly impressed with the centre forward, Josh Davison. He's coming away from Wolfenden, holding it up, putting other people in. Another corner.
They came through at Charlton. Davison's got 8 goals this season, got 1 in the Championship for Charlton before he moved on. He has started well. Curry looks lively, the left back as well. Corner kick to Wimbledon. It's going to be the first, I think they're going to put in directly. Yeah, no short one this time. In from Reeves to the far stick, looks good, headed on by Twanzebe. Goes for a handball penalty. Penalty to Wimbledon. They appealed immediately for a handball by an Ipswich Town player. And the referee saw it as well. He had no hesitation. He's pointed to the spot. And in the 16th minute, Wimbledon have a great chance to make it 1-1. No complaints from anybody in orange, it has to be said.
Looks like Taylor was on the ground after. I couldn't be sure which one it was. There was an Ipswich header, but it's obviously been handled after the Ipswich header.
I think it's Twanzebe. It looked like made the header, but yeah. Well, I guess as good as mine in terms of that, but just the reaction from the players, I thought, yeah, it's got to be. They all went to a man immediately to appeal for this penalty, and as I say, no complaints among the Ipswich Town players. Well, Ipswich Town lead this FA Cup tie by 1-0, but Wimbledon have a penalty to equalise in the 17th minute. It's Reeves up against Walton. Mr. Donoghue, the referee's happy. Reeves coming forward, the number 4. Can he make it 1-1? Yes, he can. Walton well beaten off to Walton's right-hand side, and we're all square at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. It's Ipswich Town 1, AFC Wimbledon 1.
Yeah, that's the way to put a penalty in. Harlan to the top right-hand corner. Absolutely no chance for Christian Walton.
None whatsoever. Ipswich Town rather shot themselves in the foot there, and they've got to kick on again. 1-1 in this FA Cup third round tie, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. It all kind of came from Sasu breaking into life and winning that corner kick from nowhere. Harness has placed the ball down on the centre spot. Town send out a couple of subs. Boabo and Ball off for a little jog near side. It's Reeves' 4th goal of the season. Barry said good penalty as well, as the ball bounces out far side for a throw to AFC Wimbledon. The fans believing once again. McKenna down in front of us, hands in pockets, watching on. Pell with a back header comes to Davison, loses out to Morsey in a challenge. Ball just drops far side for a throw to Wimbledon in front of one of the many flags that are over on the far side of the ground here. We are Wimbledon, one of them. Pell ends up on the deck, throw to Ipswich. Humphreys is going to be taken. It's got the feel of a cup tie this now. Humphreys goes back to Edmondson. Town will certainly want to get the job done here this afternoon. McKenna would like a couple of free weeks on the training ground. He's spinning so many plates at the moment in terms of transfer dealings, as well as preparing for, first of all, Sunderland, then Leicester. Doesn't really want to have to think about an AFC's Wimbledon home game in between the two. Here is Wolfenden getting the ball short from Edmondson, playing it forward to Taylor. Now Edmondson on the far side of the field. Thought about the long diagonal. Hutchinson is in space this near side. Wolfenden considered that as well. Not yet though. Town working it short in and around the centre circle. Taylor goes back to Wolfenden. Davison's after him. There is Walton. Walton plays it out to Morsey. Morsey skips away from Pell. Nice turn from the Egyptian. Good ball forward from Morsey. Excellent play. Broadhead. Now Town on the front foot coming forward, trying to re-establish their lead. Humphreys from that left back position, he's got forward well, gives it in field to Taylor, back to Humphreys, immediately looking towards the box, reverse pass down the line, finds Taylor, in a left wing position. Beeler gets a toe in, and it goes for a Town throw. Humphreys quickly takes the throw. Taylor, nudged by the challenge of Little. Humphreys plays the ball off Beeler, breaks nicely in field for Reeves, the captain and scorer of Wimbledon's equaliser. Beeler sees the ball come off Humphreys for a throw to Wimbledon.
Yeah, little lapse in the pace of the game at the moment. It's just gone into a little quiet spell after the penalty there, but Ipswich continue to play their possession-based football. Humphreys is being quite prominent at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing well. Town led after 8 minutes, deflected effort from Broadhead, and then an equaliser 9 minutes later from the penalty spot by Reeves, the captain of Wimbledon. Made this one 1-1, given away by Taylor. Not in a dangerous position, particularly now it's gone back into the Wimbledon half of the field. They've got it in front of us with Curry. Curry straight to Morsey. Hutchinson then helps it on its way back to Twanzebe. There is Luke Wolfenden with 20 minutes gone. And a bit of sunshine coming out at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. Good turn from Harness on halfway, then holds it up against Reeves. Excellent play from the former Portsmouth player. Down the line looking for Hutchinson, blocked off by Curry. And Twanzebe and Wolfenden just calm things down with a bit of possession in front of us. Twanzebe up to the halfway line, gives it to Harness. Harness first time tries to get Hutchinson in around the back, but Curry was alert. He goes back to Bass. Poor clearance from Bass, helped on its way, but in the end Morsey gets on it. Taylor. Ipswich have it now with Taylor again. Taylor playing it forward to Harness, edge of the area, cleared away by Johnson. Sassu can't get a hold of the ball. Taylor to Harness. Harness controls it, plays it to the right. Harness is having a good game. Here is Hutchinson coming infield from the right hand side. Harness wants it further down the line, blocked off by Curry. Twanzebe now has it. A few players moving in front of him. Back to the right from Twanzebe. Hutchinson. Twanzebe once again, 9 blue shirts behind the ball. Ipswich Town on the edge of the box have it with Harness. Now Hutchinson, left-footed, in comes his cross to the centre, and Ladapo went for it. It's been well defended by Wimbledon. Covering player behind him was Pearce, and his header goes out Town corner.
Yeah, good patient build up again. Kept playing that triangle on the right between Harness and Hutchinson, and Ladapo was nearly on it, but again, good defending from Wimbledon. Corner from the right.
We're at the midway point of this first half. Town have their third corner kick in from Hutchinson towards the near post area, defended away by Wimbledon. Back to Hutchinson, left-footed, he drives it in, headed up by Sassu. It loops across and out the far side for another corner kick to Ipswich.
Good right-footed crosses from Hutchinson coming in, early ball as well, and hopefully one of these corners will bring something.
Corner kick to Ipswich. Broadhead involved in the opening goal of the afternoon. He's on this set piece. Plenty players forward off to our right. In it looks like a good one. Punched away by Bass. Morsey controls it to the right hand side, and Wolfenden tries to go back to his captain. Morsey gets a low cross in, pings off Twanzebe. The clearance from Johnson. Wimbledon finally get it out of their defensive third. Hutchinson gives it away straight to Beeler. Not good at all. Forward come Wimbledon. Sassu's on the ball, one-on-one with Humphreys. Still a lot of work to be done. Humphreys went to ground. Sassu gets the break inside the Ipswich area. Still gone Sassu. Still has the ball. Eventually it should be seen out behind because Hutchinson was back. It came off Sassu last after all of that for an Ipswich Town goal kick.
He did well there, Hutchinson. He made the initial mistake, but he followed the ball all the way back. He was very strong, Sassu, but Hutchinson kept with him and just ferried the ball out.
Connor Chapman having a word on this near side with his old Portsmouth teammate Lee Brown, one of the subs for AFC Wimbledon. Walton just really had to pick the ball out of the back of his net so far. Equaliser from Wimbledon. Here is Luke Wolfenden live on BBC Radio Suffolk. 24 minutes played. Wolfenden to Edmondson, playing to his left hand side at centre half. Edmondson to the left, and Humphreys tight to that far touchline. Of course, still Town without Leif Davis. It'll be interesting to see if he's available for Sunderland in a week's time. There is Edmondson. Edmondson plays it to Twanzebe, lets the ball come across his body, strong enough to hold off Lemonhay Evans, and go back to Wolfenden. One would imagine that Town have just purely rested Harry Clark for this. We'll ask Kieran McKenna post-match just to double check there's nothing wrong with him, but they kind of have to manage his Achilles issue, as the ball is on the far side with Beeler cutting in field. Beeler spotted playing Sunday League when Wimbledon took him into their academy. Johnson to Curry. Curry down the line. Good play again from Curry on this left-hand side. I've liked him. Now Davison, who's very mobile up front, wide left outside the Ipswich area. Chance to cross low into the Town box. It comes. There was a chance for Pell, a difficult one. It's out the far side on the right for Wimbledon. Kept in by Little, who played against Town for Forest Green Rovers last season. Their one season in League One. Beeler drops a shoulder, eventually gets his cross into the box, but after a shout, it's easy for Walton. Good others left, aren't they?
Yeah, good. And Davison again. You know, he's got away from Wolfen 2 or 3 times.
Morsey is upended by Pell, and it's a yellow card actually for Pell, who hasn't complained about that. First caution of the afternoon, 25 exactly played, and Ipswich Town are now drawing 1-1 at AFC Wimbledon. It's a free kick at the back, which Town are going to play short. And now in the centre of the field, it's Taylor who has the ball. Wide on the right-hand side, Twanzebe for Ipswich to Hutchinson. Ipswich Town attacking the goal off to our right-hand side. Hutchinson in field, cleared away by the back line of Wimbledon. Initially the own goal was credited to Alex Pearce, bless him. Another one in Ipswich Town's favour, but I think Josh Davison is the latest player to be credited with that OG, which gave Ipswich Town the lead. Here comes the throw that Curry has taken on this near side for Wimbledon. Reaches Davison. Clever back heel from Davison. He really has caught the eye so far. Forward it comes from Reeves of Wimbledon, but Town will deal with it. Back it goes to Walton. It's maybe heard that Ipswich Town need a striker this window, Josh Davison. It's an audition for the number 9 for Wimbledon.
He's putting in a very good interview if that's the case, because he's been excellent down this left-hand side.
24 years of age, been very good for them so far. Wes Burns out with his yellow bib just below us. Play continues with Twanzebe getting the ball, holding off Davison, then playing it forward, but all the way back towards Bass, former Portsmouth colleague of Harness and Connor Chaplin back in the day. Alex Bass hasn't really had a look in at Sunderland since joining them. High long kick from him from right to left. Wolfen gets up above Pell. Pell had a spell with Colchester a few years ago before that move to Accrington that I mentioned. Handball by Harness in midfield. That's a free kick to Wimbledon. Not a great deal in this game at the moment, it has to be said. Not much of a spectacle. Beeler waits for the ball to arrive. Broadhead closes them down. It goes square to Little. Here is Beeler back in his own half again, finding Bass on the edge of his area. One big long kick from him. No thoughts about playing any Václav Hladky type football there, just wanted to get it downfield. Humphreys misjudges the bounce. That allows Little to get on the ball for the Blues. Ipswich in all orange this afternoon. Humphreys beaten again down that right hand side, wrestling with his man. Little's done ever so well, holds the ball up, might need support, does a full 360 and takes the ball to the corner flag. Humphreys has a nibble at him. He's doing a strong player. Little, he stood up to the physical challenge and he sided through, and he did very well there, Armani Little.
He did, but Humphreys kept with him all the time and never gave him any opportunity to get the cross in, so he did very well there, Humphreys.
Very good. Here is Beeler with a throw for Wimbledon. 17 to go in the first half, 1 goal each. Beeler gets the ball back from Pell, manages to nutmeg Taylor. Taylor that turns and prods it away, and then Pell, no idea what on earth that was, other than a big lump boot of a ball out of the ground.
Yep, somebody in one of the flats there got a nice new match ball.
I think so, yeah. It's a funny ground, this. It's surrounded by flats on 3 sides of the ground anyway. Quite tricky to find one of those grounds you don't know it's there until it's right on top of you. Edmondson with a cross-field ball. Curry got the better of Hutchinson, then wins a 50-50 against Twanzebe. I've liked the left back as well. Here is Reeves tidying things up. Well, I'm certainly confident, particularly now they can get something from this game. Beeler on the halfway line, round the corner, gives it to Little, he and Reeves a decent pair in midfield. They've now just linked up. Reeves has the ball once again. Back to Little, who bounces the ball off him and sends it back to his two centre-halves. Pearce plays it square to Johnson. This little passage of possession football, this from Wimbledon. Here's Curry near side. Johnson into the centre of the field. Pell with an acrobatic attempt at a chest trap. In step Taylor. Edmondson guides it back to Walton. Caden Jackson, good to see he's available. He's out in front of us, limbering up at the moment. He did go off with an injury against Stoke on Monday. I think most of us didn't think he'd be involved at all in this one, but he's obviously right. There is Cameron Humphreys. Town playing it around at the back. Edmondson gets a touch, then Wolfenden. Morsey will play it square to Twanzebe. Twanzebe touches it beyond Lemonhay Evans. Harness for Ipswich Town, wide on the right hand side, carrying the ball, giving it to Hutchinson. In goes Curry. Out goes the ball.
It was an excellent game, Curry, isn't he? Both offensively and defensively. Excellent tackle there.
He's playing right in front of Kieran McKenna this first half as well. It's almost like he's heard about Leif Davis's injury. He thinks, right, this is my chance to impress. He has done very well. Twanzebe with a throw in outside the Ipswich Town penalty area. Gets it to Harness. Back it goes to Twanzebe in a crossing position. Town led 1-0, but it's now 1-1 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Morsey. Short to Taylor, back to Morsey. Pell's gone after him, he bypasses him with a forward pass to Broadhead. Broadhead finds Ladapo, edge of the area, just outside the box. Now inside at Ladapo, wide left. It'll have to be a cross rather than a shot. It's come off a Wimbledon player. Beeler prevents it, going out for a throw-in next to the corner flag. Plays it short, Town might win it back. There's a challenge from Humphreys. Beeler gets the better of Ladapo. That was enjoyed by the home crowd. Up towards Sasu. Sasu battling with Edmondson. Sasu might get on the ball. Eventually outnumbered because Taylor and Morsey were helping out with Edmondson. Ipswich have got the ball back. But Wimbledon doing well against a team 53 places above them. Twanzebe finding Hutchinson. Hutchinson infield, a little bit risky, and Wolfenden just got there. Now he's letting Hutchinson know exactly what he thought about that pass, Luke Wolfenden. Here come Ipswich. Broadhead lifts it over the top of Pearce. Inside the area, maybe a chance now, surely for Town. Broadhead scooped it over the bar. A very, very difficult angle.
He never really had control of the ball either, did he,
no.
Brenner? Because Harness and Ladapo had made great runs under the penalty spot there, but he was already running at such a speed, I don't think he could possibly get that back to them, so he just tried and to dink it, but it was a very difficult angle.
1-1 as Bass gets ready to take this goal kick. Three Wimbledon players speaking to the referee about something or other. It's all broken up now though, as Bass plays this one short to Reeves, who dropped in behind his back four. Little, first time to the far side. Beeler on to Reeves, blocked off by Taylor. Ipswich get the ball through Broadhead. Harness, 30 yards from goal. Lots of blue shirts in the way. Harness has still got the ball, eventually blocked off. Then he goes to ground, he brings down Pell, and it's going to be a yellow card for Marcus Harness. 1-1 in goals and now 1-1 in yellow cards, this one by the looks of things.
Pure frustration, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He had a couple of good goes, turned back, got robbed from the ball, and just launched himself at the guy.
Is he the best option, do you think, as a Chaplin backup, Harness in that area of the field? I hear people saying that we need a backup to Chaplin. What would happen if Chaplin got injured? What do you think?
I think he's a clever enough footballer to play the thing. To me, the thing that he's always struggled with is consistency. He comes in and out of games, and you think, oh, excellent, brilliant bit of play, and then he goes missing for a few minutes. So if he can add that to his game, he'd be, every bit as good as Chaplin, because he can score a goal as well. No doubt about that.
12 to go until half-time. 1-1. Broadhead involved in that opening own goal scored by a Wimbledon player for Town. He plays it back to Humphreys. That's with George Edmondson. Square to Wolfenden. Town trying to reach round 4 in consecutive seasons. 14 years since they last managed that. We all know how miserable it's been for Ipswich Town in this competition for far too long. 3 wins in it last season. The ball forward from Humphreys is a good one, just away from Ladapo. Excellent delivery again from the left back. He's put some good balls in.
He has. That was literally a yard just too long for him.
Yeah, of course, Town beat the likes of Bracknell, Buxton, then Rotherham. It's a bit of a scalp for them last season, and only narrowly lost to Burnley, and they eventually went out in round 4. Pearce is down on one knee on the edge of his penalty area, so a little bit of a break and play while the Wimbledon centre-half can receive some treatment. But there's not much in this game at the moment, is there, Barry? It has to be said.
There's not. I mean, Ipswich start off hugely confidently. Lots of possession, a couple of snap efforts at goal, but obviously the penalty that really was a strange one. We haven't seen a replay of it, so we can't really identify, but there was, as you said at the time, there was absolutely no hesitation from the referee. There was a lot of protest from Ipswich, and that sort of took the wind out of the sails a bit. They're huffing and puffing at the moment, but maybe when the energy goes out of the game they'll be a bit more dynamic.
Callum Bailly, who has played for Wimbledon against Ipswich Town in the past, is going to be coming on for Alex Pearce, whose afternoon lasted, just under 35 minutes. Like for like, he's going to slot in at centre-half alongside Ryan Johnson. Lewis and Johnson have been their regular pair of centre-halves, so I'm just guessing that Stockport have maybe said that they don't want Lewis to play in this competition. Throw out from the back. Bass finds Curry and lots of space near side. He's carried the ball forward a good 30-40 yards, tries to cross it in. Eventually Hutchinson got back. He's applauded by Dominic Ball for that, is Amari Hutchinson. Here is Curry once again, joined the club at the age of 10. He scored in his league debut for Wimbledon against Gillingham. Couldn't do much with the return pass from his captain on that occasion. And it's a throw for Twanzebe of Ipswich. Hutchinson, attempted pass forwards, blocked off. Lemonhay Evans almost gets the better of Twanzebe. Harness plays the ball off the face of Pell. Play continues with the Town throw-in on this near side. Remember a particularly bleak night here in Ipswich Town's recent history, of which of course there have been a few when they lost 3-0 here during COVID days. Pell sees the whistle blow against him as he nudged Morsey to the floor. Play continues. I remember a 3-0 defeat here for Ipswich Town when Josh Harrop was sent off late on a few lows. 1-1 here this afternoon with 36 and a bit played. Edmondson slides the ball down the far touchline, the left to Humphreys. Humphreys in early, might be a chance for Broadhead. Into the centre, Ladapo shoots. Bass is behind it. Didn't fully meet it as cleanly as he would have wished, the Town number 9.
No, he didn't. I mean, that was a ricochet off from Humphrey's original ball, but Broadhead was very aware and he laid it back and he tried it first time, to be fair to Freddie, but that was a player lacking confidence, that's for sure.
Twanzebe with a header down to Wolfenden. Wolfenden goes back to Walton. If you weren't with us at the start, just the chance of one debut for Ipswich Town this afternoon. Jeremy Sarmiento on loan from Brighton on the bench. Lewis Travis will have a full week's training, having joined from Blackburn this coming week, and has a chance of featuring against Sunderland in a week's time. Broadhead trying to get the ball through, then win it after Wimbledon blocked off the initial attempt. Johnson goes back to Bass. Again, another big boot forward. That's what he tends to do more often than not. Bass when he has the ball at his feet. Oh, this intricate stuff at the back for him. Johnson, little touch forward to Lemonhay Evans. Twanzebe gets there first, just holds off his man, and cool as you like, tidies things up with the ball to Wolfenden. Taylor to Harness on the half turn. Harness does well, lifts it over the top, but too much on it. Too long.
It was the right idea, but just too long. But that's better. They've got to move the ball a little bit quicker in the last third. The build-up play is fine, but we need to move the ball just a wee bit quicker.
Taylor wins the ball on the halfway line, drops down to Beeler. Beeler goes back to Callum Bailly, the substitute. His first involvement for AFC Wimbledon. 1-1 live on BBC Radio, Suffolk and BBC Sounds. Bass again launches the yellow ball forward from right to left. Wolfenden is being fouled by Davison. Free kick to Ipswich. Wolfenden to Taylor. Taylor gets it to Morsey. Morsey back to Wolfenden. Town passing it around inside their half. Now to the far side, Humphreys. He's done well again, Humphreys. playing at left back, his current position for Ipswich Town. Wolfenden goes long towards the run of Broadhead, taken on his chest. The flag stays down, edge of the area. Broadhead gets inside the box. Shot is a good one, lovely bit of play. It's applauded by Kieran McKenna, and rightly so. Bass makes the save close to his right post.
Brilliant piece of play by Broadhead, facing the ball, took it on his chest. A clever little sidestep and back heel all in one movement. A cracking shot with his left foot and a good save by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, lovely football all round. Broadhead on this corner kick. Can Ipswich Town re-establish their 1-goal lead? It's 1-1. In it bends towards the near post. Cleared away as far as Twanzebe, who heads it in, and Ipswich Town do regain the lead. It's Axel Twanzebe's first goal for Ipswich Town. He headed it beyond Bass after the initial corner kick from Broadhead, and it's AFC Wimbledon 1, Ipswich Town 2 now.
Yeah, the corner came across and it got actually stopped, but it's one of those ones that just looped up beautifully in the air. And to be fair to Twanzebe, he was alert and he was brave, and he put his head where it could have hurt, but he got it, and it was a clear one into the top corner. Deserved, I think, on the last 10 minutes. They've just started to turn the screw a little bit again.
Well, it was a lovely bit of play from Broadhead that set up the corner kick initially. So Twanzebe is off the mark for Ipswich Town. 3 goals in this first 40 minutes then. AFC Wimbledon 1, Ipswich Town 2 now at the Cherry Red Records Stadium, which is still on Plough Lane, not on the site of the original iconic ground, if you like, the one that went up through the divisions all the way to the Premiership, as was FA Cup success, of course, in the late 80s for the Crazy Gang. Very different setup here now as Taylor holds off Little, ball out to the far side, and Humphreys though gives it away this time, straight to Reeves. Beeler, lovely drag back, good play from him, plays the ball forward looking for Sasu. Edmondson chests it out of play. Wimbledon have gained a fair bit of ground far side. They've got a throw in outside the Ipswich area. Reeves, very quick and busy, gets it back to Beeler. Beeler digs across into the Ipswich area, headed on well by Davison. The goal scorer Twanzebe scoops it away, the backhander from Harness, just away from Ladapo. Callum By, the number 30, gives it once again to Beeler, who looks comfortable on the ball. The right back, like Curry this near side, he's only 21, Hussein Beeler. Lemonhay Evans can't keep the ball in near side. It's a throw to Town on halfway, which Twanzebe's going to be taking. Definitely second choice right back at the moment for Ipswich Town, Twanzebe, or of course he even started at Stoke on Monday, battling with Harry Clark to play minutes there. Here is Walton. Only meaningful involvement was to pick the ball out of the net, really, for the penalty kick scored by Reeves, the second goal of the 3 that we've seen. Edmondson to Taylor. Taylor's robbed of the ball, sloppy from him. Reeves driving forward from Wimbledon's middle third. Crossing into the Ipswich Town area, great ball player, goes down inside the box, appeals for a penalty. Lemonhay Evans pulls his effort into the side netting. Bit of a let-off for Ipswich Town again there.
Yeah, I mean, we had more defenders there, but they won the ball, it fell, and I thought he could have done better with that, actually, but thankfully for Ipswich it went just the right side of the near post.
He's just also a bit concerned about a second penalty as well at one stage, but not as conclusive as the first one. Harness has done well, threads the ball to right hand side. Twanzebe running forward with it, holding off Davison, down the line to Hutchinson. Good run by Twanzebe. Hutchinson will get on the ball, can't initially do anything with it, holding it up by the corner flag, eventually goes down on his knees against Curry. Good battle between these two talented youngsters. Curry eventually gets toes on the ball. It's out for a Town throw. Town throw in deep inside the Millwall half. 2.5 minutes of this first half to go. I wouldn't have thought it would be masses of added on time. Twanzebe, the man who's made it 2-1, gives it to Harness. Now Hutchinson inside the box right of centre, held up by Curry. Squeezes the ball into the near post, where it's caught by Bass, alert on his near stick.
Didn't quite get it under control, did it? It seemed to be behind him, and by the time he got it in front of him, it was right on top of the goal, actually, from the narrow angle. So all he could do was really play it across, and the goalkeeper intercepted it.
Big kick from Bass again, headed away by Edmondson. Now Wolfenden gives it to Morsey, always available in that area, at the point of a triangle in front of the two centre halves. Morsey, Twanzebe, Invites the challenge from Pell, still has it, eventually gives it to Morsey in the centre circle. Captain can't go forward, eventually turns around the corner, gives it to Taylor. Taylor's layoff finds Tuanzebe, then Harness. Nice patient play from Town. Harness's cross into the area. Kalambai fluffed it, drops to Ladapo. Ladapo can't get his feet sorted out quickly enough to get a shot or lay it off to Broadhead, which is what he tried to do in the end. That was the plan B. Reeves up to Sassu. Edmondson goes to ground. It's out for a throw to Wimbledon. Final minute of this first half, or at least normal time in this 45. Town led 1-0, pegged back to 1-1. It's currently 2-1 to them. Tuanzebe with a goal. Header down by Wolfen, and Sassu inside the Ipswich Town area though. Blocked off by a couple of players. And it's Taylor who picks up the ball and runs with it. Gives it to Broadhead, just crossing halfway far side now, the left-sided attacker. He's happy to accept a throw-in off of Kalambai.
He's played well again today, to be fair, Edmondson, hasn't he? He's been very solid, good in the air, made the good challenges and distributed the ball well.
Generally just been a bit unfortunate. Burgess got in the team and never looked back last season.
That's
was
right.
Terrific. Never let him down, George Edmondson. Morsey to Harness. Harness trying to get it through to Ladapo. There's nothing that Ladapo could do with it on this occasion. But clearly a great character around the squad, really good professional, George Edmondson, and he will have known that as soon as Burgess was likely to get picked for Australia for this 5-6 weeks, he'd be in potentially frontline action on a regular basis. And he's warranted his inclusion so far. He's had another good game. 4 minutes of added on time to be played at the end of this first half. 3 goals we've seen, 2 of them for Ipswich Town, an own goal and Tuanzebe. At the moment Wimbledon passing the ball around inside their half of the field. Back it goes to Kalambai, who knocks it long. Morsey tidies up, Tuanzebe gets there. Tuanzebe is the first actual Ipswich Town player to score for weeks, if you consider how long it is since and even the Leicester goal was a Vestergaard own goal. The first one here was an own goal, hadn't scored against Leeds, QPR, Stoke. The first bona fide Town player to score for a while. Curry on the ball, stands on it, keeps it in, but only for Tuanzebe to tidy up and go back to Wolfenden. Wolfenden launches it forward, taken on the chest of Hutchinson. Hutchinson then nutmegs Johnson. He's away, Hutchinson. Still a lot of work to be done, edge of the area. Hutchinson comes in, Field not lacking for confidence. He turns and shoots. It was on target, maybe just, but comfortable for Bass to take. It was from 20-odd yards that Hutchinson had the left footer. Curry forward for Wimbledon, onto the chest of Sassu. Wolfenden comes off his back, and then he adjusts and passes it back to Walton. Walton out short to Morsey. Morsey gives it to Edmondson. Edmondson out to Humphreys far side. Still 90 seconds of this first half to go. I think that at some stage Town can get the 4th goal of this game. There is Morsey. Out to the right hand side, Tuanzebe. On the touchline, this right side is Hutchinson. Hutchinson plays a 1-2 with Harness. Hutchinson's away, wide right, gets his cross low into the box to Ladapo, who gets underneath it, and it's off the roof, off to our right hand side.
Another good move. Bit unfortunate there for Freddie, because he was covered by the defender as he went to strike it, but Hutchinson's just beginning to win the battle with the little left back, who's had an excellent game so far. He really has, Jack Curry, but Hutchinson's just beginning to get the measure of him now.
He is, and of course at some stage Curry might well have to face Wes Burns, so good luck with that. That's going to be a right test for him after he's been worn down by Hutchinson. Here is Johnson. The task certainly won't get any easier. If he's not enjoyed playing against Hutchinson, his replacement is unlikely to give him too much joy.
No, I shouldn't think so.
We've got just over a minute of this first half to go. Pell with a good header on to Davison. He's trying his arm far side, the centre forward. Back he plays it to Little. Goes off Humphreys into the crowd. Another through to Wimbledon, live on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds, this FA Cup 3rd round tie. 2-1 Ipswich lead. Here is Curry back to the halfway line, and Reeves. Curry once again closed down by Harness and Hutchinson. In a panic he launched it forward, which Tuanzebe dealt with in the air. Morsey and Field to Broadhead. Decent first touch from Broadhead, then he runs into his man, who drops to the ground. Maybe a chance for Ipswich Town to get a late goal at the end of this first half. Plenty of orange shirts pouring forward. Morsey has it in midfield, just holds off Little, gives it to Harness out to the right, but behind Tuanzebe. Hutchinson keeps it in. It's done very well. Most players thought that ball was dead. Final 20 seconds of the first half. Almost certain now to finish 2-1, one would have thought. Hutchinson holds off Curry. Oh, poor. Hutchinson gives it away to Sassu. Sassu's one-on-one with Wolfenden. Great challenge from Wolfenden. Kept his eye on the ball. Exceptional defending. Had he not done that, and again, Wolfenden having another little word with Amari Hutchinson. That was a chance for Wimbledon, maybe to get another equaliser, but superb defending from Wolfenden. It's the half-time score. Barry Kent is 2-1 Town.
Yep, it's just about deserved. I think they've moved the ball around well. The penalty, to be fair, was, as we said at the time, uncontested, but it was obviously a penalty. But that's the only real pressure, apart from a couple of good crosses here from the left, from the young left back Curry. As soon as the game goes on and the energy gets out of the game, the passing game of Ipswich will hopefully bring some more reward.
Who stood out for you from an Ipswich Town perspective?
Well, I think Edmondson has been very solid, as we said all the way along. Morsey, of course, continues to play at the level that he plays at. Humphreys has looked lively, and Broadhead has looked better with the ball today. He seemed to be lacking a little bit of confidence in the last couple of weeks, but he's certainly back to his best. And as I said, Hutchinson, he's been a bit slack a couple of times on the ball, but when he's been attacking the fullback, he's just starting to get the better of him. So hopefully that will bring more reward in the second half.
It'll make a difference if Town can get a 2-goal advantage, won't it, against the side from a lower level. Just take a little bit of confidence out of AFC Wimbledon if they find themselves 3-1 down. Yeah,
I would have thought so. As we've said, Walton has had, apart from one cross that he made a complete hash of, and the guy should have scored from an early corner, he's had nothing to do but pick the ball out of his net from the penalty.
So far, so good for Ipswich Town then in this FA Cup third round tie down at AFC Wimbledon. They lead the League 2 side by 2-1 at half-time.
5 lunchtime kickoffs in the FA Cup this afternoon. Newcastle have just gone in front away at Sunderland. A Dan Ballard own goal. That one kicked off at 12:45. In the other 12:30s, at Millwall 0, Leicester 2 is the half-time score in an all-championship clash in the Cup. And championship side Coventry lead Oxford of League 1 by 3-0. National League South team Maidstone United have just gone in front at home to Stevenage of League 1. It is 1-0 there. 19 FA Cup third round ties in total today. Will be across those lunchtime kickoffs, of course, throughout the programme, along with the ones that kick off at 3 o'clock. And we're also around the grounds locally in this extended matchday programme. Stephen Foster watching an all-county clash between Whitton United and Haverhill Rovers this afternoon. Nick Garnham is at Needham Market for us, and Gary Button at Lowestoft Town.
Whatever it is I've done to you, I probably deserve it. I've done some bad things.
On BBC iPlayer.
For all it hurts, you can't remember me. Maybe it's just as well.
Maybe it's time you find out who you really are.
Some things are best left buried.
Just tell me what you want!
Wherever he is, I think that he's in trouble.
We will find your man, okay?
What is it that I've done that makes me the enemy?
The Tourist.
You may not remember, but I do.
Watch all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
Full second half commentary of AFC Wimbledon versus Ipswich Town coming up. Town leading 2-1 at Plough Lane in our main feature this match day. Elsewhere in the Cup, League 2 side Gillingham welcome the Premier League's bottom club Sheffield United to the Priestfield Stadium from 3. The Gillingham boss Stephen Clement says the visitors' position in the top flight doesn't matter. They're still a top quality side.
They're Premier League players, they've got a Premier League manager, a Premier League club. There's no point in me analysing their last game against Manchester City, because we're not going to be able to do what Manchester City can do. So obviously we have analysed Sheffield United, and we'll try and we'll have a game plan that we'll try and put into place. But it's going to be a very, very difficult game. They've got top players.
Might there be an upset in that one, perhaps? 4 5:30 kickoffs in the Cup this evening, including Championship side Preston at home to the 8 times winners Chelsea. The Preston boss Ryan Lowe says they'll be at Stamford Bridge hoping to cause an upset.
We want to be proud of what we do. We want to represent Preston North End, going there and give a good account of ourselves. Have teams gone there and won? Have teams beat Chelsea in cup competition? Of course they have. We're going to have to be at our best to get something out of the game, but it's one we're going to try and give everything we possibly can and see where it takes us.
I mentioned we're around the grounds locally this afternoon on BBC Radio Suffolk, and Needham Market will aim to regain top spot in the Southern Premier League Central Division when they face Kettering at Bloomfields. AFC Sudbury aiming to make it 4 wins in a row away at Royston. Leiston also away from home this afternoon at St Ives Town. 5 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat from Leiston's last 7. They ended the year well. In the Isthmian North Division, the leaders Lowestoft Town aiming to bounce back from a shock defeat at home to local rivals Galston on New Year's Day. The Trawler boys play Brightlingsea Regent at home, while second in the table Felixstowe and Walton United are away at Brentwood. Ipswich Wanderers, who've lost their last 7, are at home to Malden and Tiptree. Bottom of the table Stowmarket are at Galston. A Sunday game for Bury Town this weekend away at New Salamis, and Bury will go there in a rich vein of form. Cole Scuse's side have won 5 of an unbeaten last 6. Bury St Edmunds rugby players back in action today at home to Canterbury in National League 2 East. An 8-match unbeaten run means the Wolfpack begin 2024 in 4th place in the table. To tennis, Rafael Nadal admits he doesn't know what the future holds after being injured in his quarter-final defeat by the Australian Jordan Thompson at the Brisbane International. The 22-time Grand Slam winner, now 37 years of age, was playing his 3rd match since returning from almost a year out with a hip problem.
I don't know. I mean, I hope it's not important, and I hope to have the chance to be practicing next week and to play in Melbourne. But honestly, I am not 100% sure of anything now.
Coco Gauff continued her impressive form in the build-up to the Australian Open by reaching the final of the Auckland Classic. The US Open champion beat fellow American Emma Navarro 6-3, 6-1 in the semi-finals. 19-year-old Gauff, who's defending the Auckland title she won last year, will face Ukraine's Alina Svitolina in Sunday's final. Svitolina beat Emma Raducanu during the week. It was only Raducanu's 2nd match back following her lengthy spell out, during which she underwent surgery on both wrists and one of her ankles. In spite of this, the Briton took the world number 25 to 3 sets and is pleased with how she's progressing going into that first Grand Slam of the year.
Yeah, I think I can take away, my level was really high for 2 sets, 2 long sets which lasted 2 hours 15, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of how quickly I was able to get my level up, to be able to compete with Alina. And yeah, I think that she gives you nothing. You really have to win the match and win the sets. And I think I did that really well in the first set. And then second set, I had a few chances in the breaker. Did the exact same. I went for my shots, which got me the first set, but I just missed them. So, that was it.
When Alina was here before, she compared the quality of that match to when she played Iga at Wimbledon last year. Do you feel that match shows how you can play when you are injury-free?
Yeah, for sure. I think that to be able to play like that for 2 sets, my second match back, especially compared to the first match, I think the level was raised pretty quickly. And I think that when you play someone like Alina, it's very difficult to train at that level and train like that for, 3.5 hours. Even if you do practice for 3 hours, it's not the same as having to, make your first serve every time. If not, she's on the second. So, I'm pretty pleased that she compared it to that. I know it's the start of a very long season for me, and I'm looking forward to reflecting on the year and having this as a starting point.
What do you feel when it didn't go your way in that 3rd set then?
My intensity just dropped, and I need to learn to maintain that better for longer if I'm going to compete with these players for 3 sets. I think that for 2 sets it was great, but you can't win all the matches in 2 sets. So if you want to go toe-to-toe for 3, intensity just needs to be higher for longer.
Maybe not having to do the media part of it, but how much have you enjoyed being at a tournament again and the buzz of it and being out in front of the crowd after so long away?
Yeah, super different. I think first match I was a bit shaky. I think that comparing the levels between the first match and this match, it's a big difference. And that's just 2 matches in, a very long time, 8 months. So I'm really pleased. I loved the atmosphere today. It was pretty insane. I think we had some really, really good points, first and second set. And yeah, it was amazing to have the support here in Auckland, but also back home in London. I know a lot of my friends and people have been waking up early to watch and support. So, yeah, I'm glad to be back and, feeling the energy of the crowds.
What kind of a platform have you got from this week in Auckland for what's coming?
Well, it's, of course, pretty exciting for me. I've only played 2 matches, and also my court time has been pretty limited. I've been training the last few months at the LTA, but I had a few setbacks with my wrists and ankles. So, yeah, to be back up to this speed after so little is a great sign. And of course, I'm disappointed about today because I was a few points away and had a few forehands mid-court, but at least I took them. I think I'd regret it more if I just pushed it in and let her hit a winner. So at least it was on my terms. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. It's just the beginning. It's week 1 of a lot more to come.
Emma Raducanu speaking after her defeat to Alina Svitolina at the Auckland Classic this week. Just her second match back since that lengthy spell on the sidelines. Australian Open starts in Melbourne on the 14th of January, so the draw for that one towards the end of next week. It's match day on BBC Radio Suffolk, 1:30. Here's the story of the FA Cup third round so far today. Leicester 2-0 up at Millwall in an all-championship clash. National League South side Maidstone a goal to the good against Stevenage of League One. It's Coventry 3, Oxford 1. Newcastle ahead in the North East Derby at the Stadium of Light. A Dan Ballard own goal. So Sunderland 0, Newcastle 1. And Ipswich Town on top so far in our main feature at Plough Lane. Here's the story of the first half before we bring you full second half commentary.
It's now on the right hand side. Chapman, good harness, low ball into the box. It's travelled a long way, and from Broadhead 6 yards out, he makes contact, and it's come off a Wimbledon player last. It's out for a corner kick. Had it not, that could easily have been 1-0. Corner kick number 2 to Town in quick succession, and this time from Taylor towards the shot of Broadhead, and it nestles in the corner of the net. It took an almighty deflection in there. Certainly Broadhead, who met the corner on the edge of the box, and already Bass of Wimbledon, after 7.5 minutes, is picking the ball out of the back of his net. Ipswich Town's first goal of 2024 sees them go 1-0 up at Wimbledon in the Cup. Reeves plays it short yet again to Little. Little crosses into the Ipswich area. Oh, it should have been a goal for Wimbledon. Johnson underneath it. Walton was nowhere near it. He headed it over the bar. And what a chance for the home side to draw level. In from Reeves to the far stick. Looks good. Headed on by Twanzebe. Goes for a handball penalty. Penalty to Wimbledon. They appealed immediately for a handball by an Ipswich Town player, and the referee saw it as well. He had no hesitation. He's pointed to the spot, and in the 16th minute, Wimbledon have a great chance to make it 1-1. No complaints from anybody in orange, it has to be said. Donahue, the referee's happy. Reeves coming forward, the number 4. Can he make it 1-1? Yes, he can. Walton well beaten off to Walton's right-hand side, and we're all square at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. It's Ipswich Town 1, AFC Wimbledon 1. Wolfenden goes long towards the run of Broadhead, taken on his chest. The flag stays down, edge of the area. Broadhead gets inside the box. Shot is a good one, lovely bit of play. It's applauded by Kieran McKenna, and rightly so. Bass makes the save close to his right post. Broadhead on this corner kick. Can Ipswich Town re-establish their 1-goal lead? It's 1-1. In it bends towards the near post. Cleared away as far as Twanzebe, who heads it in, and Ipswich Town do regain the lead. It's Axel Twanzebe's first goal for Ipswich Town. He headed it beyond Bass after the initial corner kick from Broadhead, and it's AFC Wimbledon 1, Ipswich Town 2 now.
Saturday night is the time to showcase your talent on the BBC.
Thank you so much.
From 6, BBC Upload brings you the best in new comedy, poetry and spoken word.
Upload is a great way to reach a new audience with my spoken word poetry.
From 8, BBC Introducing.
I want to thank you for the support, playing my tracks on the radio.
Supporting and championing new music made right here.
Thank you so much. Honestly, that means so much to all of us.
BBC Upload and BBC Introducing.
Just a few clicks and then the next thing you're getting played on air.
Saturday night from 6 or anytime on BBC Sounds.
BBC Radio Suffolk.
Just to let you know of, you'll be aware of this already, I'm sure, but yes, some changes to forthcoming match day and match night programmes due to new kick-off times for Ipswich Town. The game at West Brom on Saturday, the 10th of Feb, will be another one that starts at 12:30, so we'll be on air with match day from midday again, right the way through until 6 o'clock. And a few days later, when Town are at Millwall on Wednesday, the 14th of February, that one has been moved to an 8 o'clock kick-off for TV coverage, so we'll be on air with match night at the slightly later time of 7:30. Full commentary of both of those matches and all of this season's fixtures, of course, here on BBC Radio Suffolk. And for as long as Town are in the FA Cup, you can get those on BBC Sounds as well, including this one from Plough Lane, where Town are 2-1 up at AFC Wimbledon. We're all set for the second half. Let's rejoin Barry Kenton first. Brenner Woolley.
Outcome AFC Wimbledon just ahead of Ipswich Town, although now right on cue Sam Morsey appears. Still lots of substitutes, coaches and stewards with their pitchforks on the field here. Ipswich Town leading this game by 2-1. They will certainly have a game 3 weeks from now, because Rotherham got knocked out of this competition last night down at Fulham, so Town will either be playing Rotherham in the league on the 27th at home as scheduled, or as things stand at the moment anyway, they'll be at Portman Road or somewhere else in the FA Cup fourth round. But still another 45 minutes to go in this, and Wimbledon have shown enough in that first half to really show why they're up in the playoff places in League Two. You think they're without their best two players, and Al Hamadi and Bugil off to the Asian Cup. You can see why they're a handful for most sides. They'll believe that at 2-1 they can get themselves back into this. Well, Ipswich Town, as I say, in all orange this afternoon, playing from right to left towards their supporters off to our left-hand side in this second half. Have Walton in pink in goal, and a back four, Twanzebe, goal scorer, Wolfenden, Edmondson, Humphreys, then Morsey alongside Taylor, then it's Hutchinson, Harness on a yellow, and Broadhead involved in the own goal that started the ball rolling early on, and Ladapo up top. On the bench, Slicker, Ball, Luongo, Burns, Aluko, Chaplin, Jackson, Boabo, and of course we'll see the debut of Sarmiento at some stage on loan from Brighton, Ecuadorian, in the second half. Bass is in the goal off to our left for Wimbledon. They're in blue, incidentally. His back four, Beeler, now Callum Bai, who came on for Pearce in the first half, Johnson and Curry, Reeves, who scored a penalty, their captain, plays alongside Little in midfield. The three of Sasu, Pell on a yellow, and Lemonhay Evans, and then Davison, who caught the eye in the first half, is their number 9 and striker. On the bench, Zanev, Brown, Tilley, Ball, Ogundere, Jennings, Clark and Leach played just underway in this second half. Morsey, ball over the top to Harness on the right hand side. Harness looping first time cross towards Broadhead. Broadhead, nice chest trap, gives it to Humphreys. Humphreys shoots! Oh, it's off the post. It came off a Wimbledon player as far as Harness into the middle. Hutchinson shoots. That's blocked away. What a start to this second half for Ipswich Town. A whisker away from making it 3-1, and almost another own goal as well. Here is Morsey battling Pell for the ball on the far side, winning that duel. Morsey still has it and gives it back to Wolfenden, backpedaling on halfway.
It was a tremendous strike by Humphreys. I think it could have been going in anyway, but it was intercepted and absolutely crashed against the post and rebounded out nearly to the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, I agree. Did meet it really well. I thought here's Humphreys' second goal of the season. Sadly not to be. Still 2-1. Almost the perfect start to the second half for Ipswich Town. They'll want to get that third goal as soon as possible. Taylor, crossfield ball to Humphreys, playing in front of us in this second half. The number 30 draws in Beeler. It's going to be a good battle between two good young players. Taylor to Broadhead. Broadhead down the left-hand side of the box, now inside it. Flicks his cross to the far post, headed away by Curry. All the way to Pell. Pell levers it on its way off the outside of his right boot. Edmondson just being manhandled by Davison, and the referee spotted that. Mr. Donahue, free kick to Ipswich in the centre circle. As a few people drift back towards their seats. Obviously Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come post-match on BBC Radio Suffolk, and also those of an Ipswich Town player. Ball's headed out on the far side for a throw-in, which Twanzebe is going to be taking. There is Luke Wolfenden just north of the centre circle as we look at things here. Nice little ground, one of the newer ones in the Football League. Third time Town have been here though. Taylor to the left and Humphreys infield to Broadhead. Humphreys short to Morsey, near side down the left. Morsey's got the out ball to Edmondson, which he uses inside his half of the field. Edmondson in turn goes back to Walton. Bolton, of course, was always going to start this game, but we pretty much all know who'll be in goal against Sunderland next Saturday tea time. That's Aklhatke's been one of the stars of Town's season so far. Morsey looking through the middle towards Harness, unlucky. Spotted a good pass there. Harness gives him the thumbs up. It just ran away from him, but Town unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a lovely ball by Morsey. Just had a bit too much on it, unfortunately.
High kick from Bass. Sasu nods it down, but only to Humphreys. Humphreys to Broadhead. Broadhead, lovely play from Broadhead. He's kept it in near side as well. Now he can cause AFC Wimbledon some problems. The Welsh international overlapping as Humphreys. Just the final ball wasn't good enough from Broadhead. Cleared away by Callum Bai. Couldn't let it go out behind for a goal kick because he took an initial touch.
Broadhead has really been revitalised today, hasn't he? He's had a very quiet couple of 3 weeks, but today he's absolutely on fire, and everything that's been good about Ipswich has come from him and Humphreys on the left.
It has been, hasn't he? Here they are now. A good double act on this near side, Humphreys and Broadhead. Broadhead gets the ball back from Taylor inside the area, and he goes across the centre of the box, unselfishly trying to pick out Ladapo did Broadhead. It didn't reach him. Wimbledon defend it and clear quickly, where Wolfenden wins a header, charged down by Lemonhay-Evans. Twanzebe stumbled, just regained his footing in the nick of time, and drifts away from Lemonhay-Evans before going back to his goalkeeper Walton. Has been playing very well this afternoon, Broadhead. Those high standards, hasn't quite been on it of late. Given away by Ipswich. Wimbledon with Sasu. Gives it to Pell in the centre of the Ipswich half, off to our right hand side. Cloudy and grey now in this corner of London. Beeler down the right, tries to get his cross in, comes off of Broadhead, loops into the Ipswich area. Knocked away square by Edmondson. And it's going to be a throw to Wimbledon on this near side of the field in the 50th minute of this cup tie. Town ahead, live on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. Little crosses into the Ipswich area. Good ball headed towards goal by Pell. Walton was behind it.
Super cross, lovely header. Didn't quite get enough angle on it. Comfortable save for Walton. I mean, he was there, but it was a lovely cross in from the right.
Real height in Pell and Sasu, both looking at them, at least 6'2", possibly more. There is Edmondson bringing the ball out from the left side of Ipswich Town's central defensive area. Back it goes to Walton. Nothing he could do about Wimbledon's first half penalty. We're meeting the sandwich of the two Ipswich Town goals so far. It's Axel Twanzebe's goal that gives Ipswich Town this 2-1 lead. Kieran McKenna points as Edmondson tries to bend the ball round Beeler. Beeler does well against Broadhead. He's had his work cut out this afternoon, Beeler, but he's done well. Back he goes to Bass. Bass long downfield, should go all the way through to his opposite number, and it does. Walton's got it. Walton out to Wolfenden. Walton just tells him he's got a little bit of time. Wolfenden gives it to Taylor early doors though. Taylor tries the diagonal out to the far side. Hutchinson's after this. He gets on the ball. Hutchinson, he's done very well. It's a good pass from Taylor. Ipswich Town have gained a lot of ground. They've now got to throw it outside the Wimbledon penalty box.
He did very well there. Hutchinson used his pace, but it was a great ball from Taylor, and there's Morsey running back towards his own goal at the moment.
Morsey tidies up to Walton, way outside of his area, a former Brighton player. He hangs a crossfield ball to the left. Humphreys goes up against Beeler. The ball in between the two of them goes out of play directly from Walton in the end. Here is Little. Humphreys having a little nibble at the ball. Little comes away with it, eventually runs into traffic, but he was being tripped by Broadhead. He's down on all fours. Free kick. Remember, this was a 12:30 kickoff this afternoon. Town have become accustomed to those with Norwich and Leeds last month. That game that Graham mentioned at half-time as well. West Brom on the horizon. Another Sky TV pick. Bass goes long. Edmondson gets there ahead of Sasu. Little with a volleyed pass across field. Would have been a beauty if it worked out. Just had too much on it.
Yeah, no, it would have been a lovely pass if it had found the target, but unfortunately just overhit it. Difficult skill.
Johnny Jackson having a word with his midfield. One-time Colchester player, came through at Tottenham with Kieran McKenna. This game in charge of Charlton was a 4-0 defeat at Portman Road. Lovely play from Hutchinson, far side, the Ipswich Town right. Harness is making a run in front of him, just blocked off though by Curry. Cleared by Wimbledon towards Pell. Pell Little cushion header back to Reeves. Reeves releases the ball under pressure. Wolfenden wins a header. Hutchinson's battling for the ball against the far bigger Pell. Good layoff from Ladapo. Harness's attempted crossfield ball blocked off by Little in midfield. Kalambai rather stomps it back to Bass, who belts it away towards Twanzebe. Twanzebe can't get beyond Lemonhay Evans. It's been really noticeable because it's so rare watching Bass, a goalkeeper who just boots it downfield as soon as it comes near. We're so used to team after team playing it out from the back. It's certainly the Ipswich Town way, and it really stands out watching a keeper do that.
Yep.
Wolfenden threads a pass to the left, and Humphreys takes it on his chest. Gives it in field to Taylor. Humphreys has continued running forward. He's up on the front line, edge of the area, off to our left-hand side. He's stayed in there as well. He's checked where Broadhead is behind him. Meanwhile, Hutchinson on the right pulls it back to Twanzebe, controls it infield to Taylor. Taylor around the corner, back to Twanzebe. What's his crossing like? Into the middle it comes, glancing header away by Kalambai. Broadhead gets on it for Ipswich Town, keen to kill off this game. 1-2 between Taylor and Broadhead. Broadhead pulling the strings. Had a very good game. Out to Hutchinson. Hutchinson looks up, shaped to cross, gives it to Twanzebe on the far touchline. Hutchinson round the corner to Broadhead. Back it breaks to Hutchinson inside the Wimbledon area. Still Hutchinson now inside the D. Plays it through towards Ladapo. Ladapo drops his shoulder, shoots, comes off the backside of a Wimbledon player. Cleared away by Kalambai. Just wanted things to open up in front of Ladapo there. Sasu brought down by Edmondson. Could be a yellow card. Certainly a free kick to Wimbledon on the halfway line.
I think he just mistimed it completely. I think he didn't know where because that seemed to be in slow motion almost, didn't it?
Yeah, right down in front of us. It was bizarre. Yeah, he does want a yellow card to have a word with George Edmondson. Second Town player to go in the book. So, AFC Wimbledon 1, Ipswich Town 2. Aaron Sasu just limping after that challenge. Made his debut as a 16-year-old in the EFL Trophy a few years ago, Sasu. Little crosses the ball into the Ipswich area. Twanzebe back in the box in which he scored in the first half, now doing his defensive duties, heading the ball away. It's only 18, Sasu, got high hopes for him here. Ball forward for Wimbledon, blocked off by Twanzebe, chested down by Morsey. Now he's going through the gears, quickly up to the centre circle. Morsey to Harness, out to the right-hand side, Hutchinson. This promises to be something decent. Hutchinson, ball into the box, deflected back to the goalkeeper off a Wimbledon defender.
He's definitely got his rhythm now, hasn't he, Hutchinson? Yeah. He's, we've extolled the virtues of the little left-back Jack Curry, but he's got a real job on his hands at the moment.
Yes, hasn't he? As we said, Wes Burns to possibly come on at some stage as well. Life isn't going to get a lot easier when Hutchinson goes off. Ball out to the right-hand side. Finds Sasu. Wimbledon trying to draw level again. Sasu wide right, gets the better of Humphreys, plays his cross in off of Edmondson. Out behind it goes for the first corner kick of the second half, and it's gone the way of the home team. Sarmiento about to make his Ipswich Town debut. He's going to get at least half an hour, the on-loan Brighton player. Hopefully he'll be entering the fray with Ipswich Town leading 2-1. Wimbledon though have a corner kick to try to change that scoreline. They play it short. Little on the right hand side takes on and beats Humphreys into the Ipswich Town area. In comes his cross, touched by Walton, headed away only as far as Davison. Couldn't get his shot away. The referee's blown his whistle for a foul by a Wimbledon player. Sarmiento is going to be coming on for Freddie Ladapo is the player making way. One would imagine that will mean Broadhead going into a central area. It's going to be interesting to see how the lad on loan from Brighton does, Barry, isn't it? What do you make of that signing, Barry? Sarmiento coming in on loan from Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sort of, little bit of injection of a bit of flair by the sound of it, and something, a little freshen up. And remember what happened last January when Broadhead came in and the other couple of players, you need that in a long season, and hopefully he gives us that little bit of impetus.
I feel sorry for Freddie Ladapo. You can see lacks in confidence, rhythm, just not, I'm guessing, belief and just rustiness. You could see that in him, couldn't you?
Absolutely, no lack of effort by any stretch of the imagination, but just his timing was off a little bit. Just you don't get that, especially at centre forward. You have to play matches.
Twanzebe, his goal made it 2-1 just before half-time. Headed down by Bila. Wimbledon on the ball. So a new combination of Humphreys and Sarmiento near side for Ipswich Town. Did come on against Ipswich Town when West Brom beat them at the Hawthorns earlier on this season. Sarmiento has been on loan at West Brom up until recently, just recalled from that loan so he could join Ipswich Town for the rest of the season. As the ball is back outside the Wimbledon area. Kid who's born in Madrid, moved with his family to London, started at Charlton. Sarmiento had a spell at Benfica, then picked up by Brighton. So fascinating backstory as Edmondson's gone down, holding the back of his head, and it's a red card. Pell gets a second yellow card of the afternoon for that challenge on Edmondson, who's down on all fours. The referee had no hesitation. One or two players quibbling in the direction of Mr. Donoghue, but Wimbledon, like Stoke on Monday, have been reduced to 10 men for the rest of this game against Ipswich Town, who lead 2-1. Obviously the fans are having a pop at the referee. Pell having a word with Luke Wolfenden, just trying to explain what happened, and off he goes. Referee didn't hesitate in terms of giving him another yellow. Well, has to be said now, this is a heck of an opportunity for Ipswich Town to go on and win this game. He seems to believe he was making a fair challenge, does Harry Pell, Barry?
He does. I mean, it wasn't conclusive of what we've seen so far. I saw Edmondson go down, but the referee was very, very quick and on it, wasn't he?
Yep, didn't hang around. Second yellow for Pell as Edmondson plays it out to Humphreys. Of course, Edmondson now being booed for his involvement. Morsey over the top, linking for Broadhead. The keeper's come out of his area. Keeper's nowhere. Broadhead gives it back to Taylor. Taylor wide left. Now Bass does get home. Taylor, little ball into the area towards Broadhead. His first touch wasn't quite good enough under pressure. He's gone down. One or two town supporters appealed for a penalty, but nothing doing. And the ball is finally back with Bass, who did have that rush of blood to the head. He was almost stranded in no man's land for a second there. Wimbledon with Reeves, giving it back via Johnson to Bass. Still 30 minutes to go. But unlike against Stoke on Monday, Ipswich Town have the lead in this game when they're playing against 10. Morsey to Harness. Things may be opening up. Harness shoots from outside the box, blocked off by the calves of Johnson. Breaks nicely to Reeves. Reeves out to the right-hand side, and Davison. Nice take from him on the outside of his right boot. Davison then goes back to halfway, and Bila pings it off of Little. Little now back on the ball. Back in field from Bila to Callum Bai. It's not really been good in terms of the fortune that's fallen Johnny Jackson's way. Lost his centre half through injury inside the first half an hour. Then he's had one of his players sent off with half an hour still to play against their higher level opposition. Twanzebe back to Walton. Walton out to Twanzebe, far side. His first goal for Ipswich Town, still separating these two sides. Morsey to halfway, going through the middle towards Sarmiento. His first touch really as an Ipswich Town plays, robbed by Bila. The ball breaks to Harness. Harness out to Hutchinson on that far touchline. Infield, he gives the ball to Morsey, bang in the centre of the Wimbledon half. Lovely ball in, looking for Humphreys inside the box, who picked up a good position, well spotted by Morsey. Headed away by the Wimbledon back line. Here is Taylor, gives the ball through the referee pretty much to Morsey. Twanzebe to Hutchinson. Town on top as you'd expect. Couple of step overs from Hutchinson. Comes in field, shapes to cross, gives it short to Morsey in the end. Morsey out to the right hand side, and Harness. Wimbledon being pegged back for a fair old while. Harness is cross into the centre towards Taylor, drops down to Hutchinson. Hutchinson twists and turns, can't find room for a shot, and it's back with Bass. I wonder if we see a bit more of Gerard Boabo at some stage. He's currently out with Ball and Chaplin off to our left. Maybe if Town were to get a third goal towards the latter stages, he might come on for Broadhead. Broadhead getting ready to face one of his former clubs next Saturday. Sunderland are the visitors to Portman Road. Sunderland looking like they're going out of the FA Cup. That was a 12:45 kick-off, and it's Newcastle United leading 2-0 at the Stadium of Light now. Goal in either half for Eddie Howe's men. Kicked forward from Bass here for Wimbledon. Drops nicely to Sasu. Sasu trying to take on Edmondson. Edmondson got enough on the ball as he turned back towards his own penalty area. Dropped down nicely for Walton. Yes, so Town have got Sunderland at home next week. 2 weeks' time, or 2 weeks on Monday, should I say. Town are at Leicester for that Monday night game. Then they've got Rotherham at home, which will be cancelled if it's FA Cup. The Town are in FA Cup action before a trip to Preston early February. And Town really should be in the fourth round of the FA Cup, given the fact they lead this game and Wimbledon are a man light. As Twanzebe gives it to Morsey in the middle. Morsey out to the left-hand side again, looking for Humphreys. Humphreys with a clever little header down to Sarmiento. The number 21's got the ball, gives it to Humphreys. Humphreys holds it up. Back it goes to Taylor. Taylor to Sarmiento. Be desperate to make a positive impression. Has been playing fairly regularly for West Brom. Twanzebe. Referee in the way of Sam Morsey. Eventually Morsey finds space. Sarmiento again on the ball. Touch lets him down. Wimbledon bring it away through Little on this near side. Humphreys holds him up. Well done, Cameron Humphreys, although the referee said he was shirt tugging a little bit too heavily. Looked like 6 of one and half a dozen of the other for me, but the referee saw it slightly differently. Town have got Aluko, Burns and Ball out now, stretching in their yellow vests. Lemonhay Evans beaten in the air by Twanzebe. Johnny Jackson looking quite frustrated at the moment with the way things have gone. Unfortunate to lose his two best players ahead of kick-off through Asian Cup duty, then an injury, then a red card. Morsey to Harness. Harness skips away from one challenge, gives it to Sarmiento. Humphreys wants it, Humphreys gets it. Wide left, low ball into the middle, but straight to Bass. Unfortunate. Looking the part though at left back, Cameron Humphreys, Barry, doesn't he?
Yeah, he took up some great positions. Obviously he's got a bit more space now with the Wimbledon only having 10, but he's took up some great positions, and it's a bit unfortunate. That was the right ball, it just wasn't cut back far enough.
Reeves up towards Davison, battling with Wolfen and getting the better of him. Again, well played Davison. Sasu's got the ball to the right hand side outside the Ipswich area. Beela's first time cross comes in low. Davison went for it, so too Wolfen, well defended by the 10, number 6. Corner Wimbledon.
Came across to the near post and did well. We've been very impressed, haven't we, with this Davison?
Yes.
I think he's a decent player. I mean, he looks better than with no disrespect to Wimbledon, their level. He looks a very decent little player.
Yeah, absolutely, he's had a good game so far. Corner kick taken short by Wimbledon. Little left-footed ball towards the far stick. There's a player flying in there, not quickly enough. Callum Byrne made contact, but not off the outside of his right boot, which was required to put it back across the face of goal. It's out for a goal kick to Christian Walton with 21 minutes to go.
Another dangerous cross from the right there. Very good cross.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It's a short play out from the back this time. Town get it to halfway in Sarmiento. Back it goes to Edmondson. Newcastle apparently well on top in that game at the Stadium of Light. Morsey to Sarmiento, running forward, brought down by Sasu. Free kick, Ipswich, 30 yards out. Morsey, referee's unhappy with him taking it so quickly. Taylor standing over this free kick for Ipswich Town. We'll hear from an Ipswich Town player post-match. I would imagine there's maybe a chance of it being Axel Twanzebe if things stay as they are. Taylor over this free kick, 30 yards from goal, plays it square to Morsey. Town in all orange, attacking the goal off to our left-hand side for this final 23 minutes. Hutchinson tormenting Curry, gone on the overlap as Harness used him as a decoy. It's gone back to Twanzebe. Now Harness eventually gets on the ball far side. Curry's gone with him. Town play it back to Morsey down with the bulk of the possession, as you would expect. Taylor to the right hand side, Twanzebe. There's some grass in front of him he can walk into. Then he gives it to Harness. Harness is crossed towards the far post. Humphreys recycles it into the middle. Handball by Kalambai. Town players appealed towards the referee. It was a definite handball by him.
Looked like handball because he brought the ball under control and cleared it. So don't know how that wasn't a handball.
Me neither. Where's VAR when you want it? Kieran McKenna shouting to the referee. Something we hopefully at some stage will become accustomed to in the Premier League when Town get there. But wow, yeah, Kieran's asking the referee. It looked a clear handball by Kalambai. Beela's trying to suggest to the Town boss that it was off his chest, but certainly was not. Sarmiento, sandwiched between two players. Good advantage played by the referee. Taylor's on the ball for Ipswich Town, up to the edge of the box, into the area. Humphreys goes square towards Harness. Harness's shot's off target from 12 yards.
That was a lovely move, that really was. And again, Humphreys is such a mature brain for a young lad. Lots of lads would have tried to blast that in from the angle, and he just cut it back beautifully for Harness, whose finishing wasn't up to much.
He's doing so well, Humphreys. He speaks with such maturity as well. Listening to that interview that we played earlier on when Graham chatted to him on Thursday at the press conference. I think he's somebody that played 500 professional games, not around about 50, I'd imagine, by now.
Yeah.
His side leads this game by 2-1. All the goals in that first half. Major talking point, I guess, of the second period, which is now 24 minutes old, incidentally, is that Wimbledon have been reduced to 10 men. Town yet to finish a game this calendar year against 11. Twanzebe flies into Curry far side. Curry stayed down. Yellow card at worst, surely. And there's a few supporters, one or two in the media perhaps even behind me, suggesting it should be the other colour, but no, the yellow card's out. It's never going to be a red card, not from this distance anyway. Yellow card for Axel Twanzebe. Curry's clearly stunned by it. It was a challenge which would have winded him rather.
Yeah, well, it's not quite the same physique as
no, it's not. No, exactly. Lightweight versus heavyweight.
It was.
Far side. 20 minutes to go plus added on time here. Hopefully Town will be able to get that third goal at some stage, just to stop us getting nervy towards the end. Curry coming forward for Wimbledon. Breakdown of communication between he and Lemonhay Evans. Out for a throw, which is going to be taken by Twanzebe. 1-5 the last 6 FA Cup games here at AFC Wimbledon. Of course, all of those, in fact, not at the standard of Ipswich Town. Davison headed down, a chance inside the Ipswich area. Good save from Walton from nowhere. Things opened up for Wimbledon. It was Little who had the hit in the end, and that was a real chance for them. It's hit very cleanly. Sassu, wide right. Beela's gone down. The referee said play advantage. In it comes from Sassu, headed out by Edmondson. That's given Wimbledon, who have a corner kick, real belief.
Yeah, that was a mistake. It may have been Wolfenden, but it presented the guy with a great opportunity. He hit it well enough, but fair play to Walton, was right on top of it.
Sat up beautifully. Wimbledon wide right. Little's cross comes in, headed away by Wolfenden on the near post. Out as far as Reeves, who waits for the ball to arrive, then takes it on his thigh, gives it back to Beela. Hutchinson gets there, but he fouled Beela. Had he not, that would have been interesting.
It's very innocuous challenge, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. 26 gone in the second half. Wimbledon a little bit rejuvenated by that chance handed to them on a plate of a few moments ago. Town still need that third goal, otherwise there's that concern that Wimbledon might be able to get themselves something out of this tie. A replay at Portman Road. Curry wide on the left hand side, right-footed cross into the Ipswich area, chested down by Wolfenden. Good improvisation. Morsey bypasses Lemonhay Evans. Hutchinson goes back to Axel Twanzebe. Morsey just clips a little ball into the Ipswich area, and Wolfenden, looking as calm and composed as ever, he gives it to Twanzebe. Now Taylor and Edmondson. Edmondson tries to thread a ball to Sarmiento, breaks back to Taylor, so Town have still got it. Taylor finds Sarmiento. Humphreys again on this left hand side, available in some space. Back he gives it to Morsey. Never looked like he's a midfielder playing out of position, Humphreys. Twanzebe to the right. and Hutchinson overlapping Harness wide right outside the Wimbledon box, and it comes to the middle, bypassed a few players, eventually clattered square and out the far side by Callum Bailly. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport and BBC Sounds. Ipswich Town 18 minutes away from a place in round 4 of the FA Cup for the second year in a row. Hutchinson taking on and beating Lemonhay Evans. Lovely play from the wide player, now inside the box by the dead ball line. Gives it back eventually to Twanzebe. Twanzebe in turn finds Morsey. Morsey crosses into the area, headed away by Callum Bailly. Out as far as Sasu. Charging into him successfully is Taylor. The ball comes off the camera operative down in front of us for a throw to AFC Wimbledon.
Good work by Taylor there, because he was the one on the back, on the end of the ball into the area, and he worked his socks off to get back to cover that.
Long ball forward from Wimbledon, well done. George Edmondson under pressure from Davison. Found Walton. His confidence will have been boosted by that save a few moments ago. Walton did ever so well. Morsey to Sarmiento. Sarmiento couldn't make the ball stick. Little comes away with it. It's decent in midfield, Little. Wolfenden gets the better of Davison. So many players in the centre circle all of a sudden. It's been about 7 or 8 of them now start to disperse. Morsey just above the centre circle as we look at things. Out to the far side, the Ipswich right. Harness overlapping is Hutchinson. Seen a lot of the ball in this game. Hutchinson comes in field, shapes to cross but doesn't. Eventually gives it to Morsey. Twanzebe available. Twanzebe to the outside of the box, the right. Harness crosses towards the far stick. Humphreys! His header is on target. Well saved by Bass.
Lovely move, that really was a lovely move. Put Harness free. Measured cross, and Humphreys coming in at the back post, did the right thing, headed it back across. Good save at the near post by the goalkeeper. Best move of the second half, that was.
It's Town's first corner kick of this second half now. Final 16 minutes of this cup tie. Broadhead with this corner kick for Ipswich Town, looking for a third goal. To the near stick it comes, headed away as far as Hutchinson. Hutchinson from the edge of the area, must have thought about the shot, but he's held on to it. Broadhead looking along the line, instead it goes back to Humphreys. Now Hutchinson on the left, everything to his right, gives it back to Humphreys. Humphreys hangs a high curling ball into the box, headed away by Callum Bailly as far as Wolfenden. Nice control. Wolfenden into the mix, it might drop down to Taylor. Ping pongs around inside there. Wimbledon can't clear their lines. Eventually they do get it away on the counter-attack. How adventurous are they going to be? Lemonhay Evans held up, just wasted too much time. Here come Ipswich Town again, looking for a killer third goal. Taylor's got the ball into the box. Broadhead to Sarmiento on his debut, saved by Bass. It goes out behind for a corner to Town.
It's really opening up now, isn't it, the game? To and fro, lovely controlled play again there. Nice pass in by Broadhead. Couldn't really get hold of it, Sarmiento, but give him confidence, that's for sure.
Yeah, will do. I just thought he was going to score there. Corner kick again to Ipswich Town. Surely one goal away from being certain of a place in round 4 of the FA Cup, leading 10-man Wimbledon 2-1. Broadhead with this corner kick. It's travelled a long way and it's in. Flags up though. Off went Wolfenden to celebrate his second of the season, but it's been chalked off pretty much immediately.
He's obviously offside from the touch on. He was on the goal line almost, wasn't he, when he put it in? So, and the referee, the assistant's flag went up immediately.
Your thoughts very welcome after this one. As ever, the phone number 0800 141 2121. You can text 81333. Start those messages with SFK, or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Seems to be a second ball on the field. That's why there's a little break. We'll also hear from Town boss Kieran McKenna and an Ipswich Town player post-match. Wimbledon about to make another change. James Tilley is about to come on. He's got 10 goals this season, and he's going to be playing the remainder of this game in place of Connor Lemonhay Evans, who's had quite a quiet game. Tilly, a former Brighton player, actually played for Brighton in the Championship, made one sub-appearance as a 16-year-old, so he must have something about him. Came from Crawley last summer. He's come on for the last, we've got 13 minutes plus added on time. Brighton play it out. Wimbledon bring it out short from the back to the left-hand side. Johnson in field, finding Little thought about going back to Bass. Instead he gives it to Johnson. Now Bass eventually has got the ball. 13 to go as the big screen over the far left corner is signalling. Johnny Jackson gives the ball to Humphreys. Humphreys throws it back to Edmondson. Square from him, he finds Wolfenden. Now back to Walton with that good save earlier on in this second half. So still no goals in the second half. Axel Tuanzebe's goal with 5 minutes of the first half to go. Still the decisive one of the three that we've seen. Walton wasting time on the edge of his area, gives the ball out to Edmondson. Now Humphreys on this near side. Back towards George Edmondson. Morsey, very congested area, flicks the ball forward to Sarmiento. He's done well. Sarmiento's in lots of space running forward. He's still got it, Sarmiento. Gives it short to Harness. Harness flicks it back to Sarmiento. To the right hand side, Hutchinson. This has been a good break from Ipswich Town. Hutchinson shot the balloons wide.
Good running again by Sarmiento. He's very willing, and he seems to have got obviously he's been here a week, and that's not that long, but he seems to have got a bit of a feel for the players around him, and he's blended in nicely.
Here come Bass with this goal kick for Wimbledon. They've got 11 and a half minutes or thereabouts to force a replay, a trip to Portman Road. Burns is about to come on for Ipswich Town. Well, like we said earlier on, this is not what Jack Curry's used to at League 2 level. He's thinking, right, normally at this stage of the game, when an opposition side changes their flying, troublesome right-sided attacker, it's their kind of plan B, their lesser light that comes off the bench at League 2 level, and he can breathe easy and think, right, I've dealt with the Hutchinson fella, bring on the new man. Well, it's the Welsh international who's been utterly terrific for Ipswich Town for 2.5 seasons now, who I'd imagine is going to be replacing Hutchinson for the remainder of this game. Kieran McKenna just having a word with Wes Burns as Callum Bai gets the ball rolling from this free kick. Burns is going to get the final 10 minutes. Boabo is indeed going to be coming on. Be the most we've seen of him in an Ipswich Town game so far. Boabo, who's tended to come on after 86, 87 minutes, that kind of time in his 3 appearances so far. Wolfenden up over the halfway line, has got one FA Cup appearance at Bracknell for Ipswich Town. Boabo. Aluko also coming on for 10. It's going to be a triple change. Tuanzebe keeps the ball in on the far side of the field. Back he goes to Wolfenden. Now Tuanzebe trying to get away from his man. He's done that. Infield, he gives the ball to Broadhead. Broadhead out to the right hand side, and Hutchinson, lovely vision, excellent execution. Hutchinson trying to get in on goal. Final challenge from Curry, got the ball back to his keeper. He did well in the end there, Curry.
Yeah, I thought he'd beaten him then. It's a superb reverse pass by Broadhead, and Hutchinson used his pace, but Curry matched him and did very well.
Yeah, he did. It's been really good watching those two going at it, hammer and tongs. Ball swings out on the far side of the field against Wimbledon. It's an Ipswich Town free kick. So Boabo, Burns and Luco coming on to freshen Ipswich Town up in attacking areas. Imagine what Hutchinson, Broadhead, Harness probably. Certainly Harness is the first player to be withdrawn. The next one is indeed Nathan Broadhead. Best game for a little while, Broadhead. And let's see who the other player is. Hutchinson, surely. Handshakes all round for Broadhead. Back to his usual self, Broadhead today. Barry's been, hasn't he?
Yes, much better. You know, really taking people on, defending, showing his awareness of the other players around him. It's good to see, because he certainly went for a little bit of a quiet spell, but we know he's got tremendous ability, and he's certainly shown it today.
Let's see what number 51 Gerard Boabo can do in the remaining. Probably he'll get 10 minutes worth of action, one would have thought. We're in the 82nd minute of this cup tie, so at least 10-11 minutes maybe. Edmondson to the left. Will there be enough time though for Wimbledon to get something out of this game? Remember, Wimbledon have been playing with 10 men for a while now. 2 yellow cards for Harry Pell. Edmondson Cruyff turn, gets away from Davison. Humphreys infield to Sarmiento. Sarmiento gets there just ahead of Little and glides away from Sasu. Sarmiento's got the ball in the centre circle. Clearly loves to run with the ball. Sasu gets a toe and brings him down. Free kick. Yeah, definitely loves running with the ball at his feet.
He certainly does, no doubt about that.
There's Morsey over this free kick out to the left. 0800 141 2121 is the phone number afterwards. Town lead this game 2-1 on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. Morsey forward to Aluko. Aluko gives it back to Morsey. Out to the right hand side, Aluko gives it to Twanzebe. Now Burns, plenty experience in this Town team anyway. Burns taking on Curry. Gives it back to Morsey. Morsey's first time cross looks a decent one, headed away by Bila on the edge of his 6-yard area. It's one of the younger players in the Town lineup. Sarmiento gets away from Little, gives it square to Aluko. Aluko in a central position, 30 yards from goal. He's still got it. Twanzebe finds Morsey. Aluko again to Cameron Humphreys. Town, as things stand, heading through to round 4 of the FA Cup. This would be their first win in 6 games as well, if they can hold on here against AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, they've been pretty much in control most of the game. I mean, there've been a couple of self-inflicted wounds, really, with a couple of ones, especially the one where Walton had to produce a very good save. But overall, Walton's been pretty much a spectator, and there's been 1 or 2 real lovely passages of play. And if the finishing had been a little bit crisper, the game would have been long gone from Wimbledon by now.
Morsey to Sarmiento, who's desperate to get on the ball. Gives it back to his captain. Morsey to Taylor. Ipswich Town lead 2-1 as Taylor tries to thread it through to Sarmiento. In the way was Reeves finding Little. Good pair, those two. Long crossfield ball for Davison, who heads it down well. Here come Wimbledon. Maybe there is still life in this tie. Deflected effort, and it comes back to Walton. 1 or 2, literally 1 or 2 appealing for a back pass. It clearly wasn't. Nobody on the field was
but again,
quite so cheeky.
Sorry, Brendan. Again, Davison, part of that again. Lovely little knockdown to his counterpart up there. You know, I've been very impressed with him.
Very impressive, hasn't he? Being Aluko caught dwelling on the ball. Little was straight on it for Wimbledon. Reeves scoops it forward, but breakdown of communication on that occasion. It's back with Walton. Might have been different if Wimbledon had certainly their best player in El Hamadi here, and Bagil's been important for them.
Yeah,
can certainly see why they're a team doing well in League 2 this year.
Yes.
Of course, he's been unlucky with injury and the red card, Johnny Jackson. There is Sarmiento back towards George Edmondson. Just a case of Ipswich Town getting the job done, and then having a couple of free midweeks. This one building up to Sunderland, and the next one building up to Leicester. Sarmiento, clever little back heel infield to Taylor. Taylor's got the ball running through midfield. Jack Taylor of Ipswich to Boabo inside the area. Definitely onside. Gets to the byline and then slices the ball out behind under some pressure. First time we've seen him since he came on.
Yeah, didn't really expect it. He's sort of looking round from behind him when the ball arrived at his feet, and then he was up against it, then trying to make anything of it.
4.5 minutes to go. Plenty talking going on inside the technical area in front of the Wimbledon bench. Taylor sliding it through to Aluko, who just didn't get a touch that he needed. If he had, he was in.
Lovely ball from Taylor.
Wasn't it? Wimbledon with Curry. Goes back to Johnson. Johnson left-footed to the far side. Nicely controlled by Tilley, the substitute. Well, one back by Aluko, but he got unfortunate. It ricocheted to Davison. Morsey skips over a challenge in midfield. Aluko now back to Wolfenden. Kieran McKenna watches on down in front of us. His thoughts on the way here in the next, hopefully, half hour, 40 minutes or so. Morsey forward to Aluko. Ipswich Town still after this 3rd goal of the game to once and truly kill off AFC Wimbledon. Burns taking on Curry. In comes his cross, headed down and away by Johnson as far as Aluko, who sets himself and hits his half volley over the bar from 24 yards.
Yeah, controlled it beautifully, but just didn't quite get over the top of it.
3.5 minutes still to play. Obviously at 2-1 there is still that slight fear that Wimbledon could catch Town, as Little goes back to Reeves, who's very deep in between the two centre-halves at the moment. Reeves wants the ball back from Callum-By and gets it, checks who's round about him. Reeves out to the left-hand side, that was the intention. Easy interception by Twanzebe. Burns to Aluko, back to Morsey in the centre circle. His next game will be in round 4 of the FA Cup. Sam Morsey. Twanzebe to Burns. Burns infield to Wolfenden. 10 of the ball in some space in their half of the field. Edmondson to Morsey. Back it goes to Edmondson. Final 3 minutes of the 90. Morsey forward to Aluko. They're certainly going to miss him, Ipswich Town. Well, we'll look forward to seeing Lewis Travis at some point. The other new signing this week on loan from Blackburn will be in contention for Sunderland next Saturday tea time. Should be a good game, that. Good team, Sunderland. Ball coming on for Wimbledon. Sarmiento on halfway, gives it to Humphreys. Sarmiento's continues run down this left-hand side, so Humphreys has gone in field to Morsey instead. Morsey draws in little before giving the ball to Twanzebe. Burns on that far touchline, taking on and getting the better of Tilley. Now up against Curry. Burns still has the ball, gets support from Twanzebe, the match winner. Here is Sam Morsey, 30 yards from goal for Ipswich Town. Little ball to the edge of the box, and then Aluko tries to burrow his way through. Twanzebe helps it out to Burns. Burns crosses early, booted away long by Johnson. Bouncing ball, Davison goes for it. Morsey and Wolfenden between them come away with the ball. And we're 90 seconds away from going into added on time. AFC Wimbledon staring down the barrel of another third round disappointment. Ball over the top looking for Taylor, who got himself into a central striking area. Morsey to Aluko, up to Boabo, back it comes to Aluko. Aluko digs it out. Wolfenden steps in ahead of Davison. Good sharp defending from Wolfenden. Wimbledon have a man down. They're effectively playing with 9 now. Tilley's on all fours, not involved in the game. Morsey to Burns. Can Town capitalise? Burns into the middle, save, tapped in, and it's Jack Taylor who hits it into the open net and makes absolutely certain that Ipswich Town have won this FA Cup tie. For the second year in a row, they're through to round 4 of the competition. Final few minutes here at AFC Wimbledon, and Town now have a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, again, did well, won the ball again in midfield. Difficult for Wimbledon with only 10 men, but a lovely cross in from a cross shot from Burns. Goalkeeper parried it, and just an easy tap in for Taylor. But it is part of Taylor's game, to be fair to him. For a midfielder, he is a goal scoring midfielder, and he was right Johnny on the spot there.
Kieran McKenna's done this on purpose. He's now bringing on that Dominic Ball at the same time as AFC Wimbledon are bringing on James Ball, just to make things confusing. So Town 3-1 up with just a matter of 10 seconds of normal time to go. James Ball is on for Wimbledon, and Dominic Ball comes on for Sam Morsey. So we can say with absolute certainty that the next time we see Sam Morsey will be in Ipswich Town's next FA Cup game. That game against Rotherham in 3 weeks from now will have to be rearranged for a Tuesday night later on in the season. That's it. 4 minutes of added on time to be played. Off comes Morsey. Job well done. He's got a couple of weeks off as he goes around patting palms with just about everybody he can stretch to down below there on the subs bench.
Another masterful performance by Morsey.
Yeah, hasn't it just? Yeah.
Class apart. Never gave the ball away. Absolutely superb, and we will miss him. There's no question about that.
Wimbledon have the ball wide on the far side. I do feel sorry for Johnny Jackson. I talked about him losing his centre half after 20 odd minutes. Then he had a man sent off, and then they were effectively down to 9 men when that ball was rolled into the net, because Tilley was playing no part in the game. So things have kind of conspired against him, and plus, as we've said a few times, arguably, well, he's player of the season's away with the rack at the Asian Cup, and Bagil playing alongside Al Hamidi has been having a good season as well. He's away with Lebanon at the same competition.
Yeah.
Here's a free kick. Wide on the Wimbledon left, over in the far right corner as we look at things. We're 90 seconds into the added on 4 minutes. So at the moment, Ipswich Town joining the likes of Fulham and Tottenham in the 4th round draw, which incidentally is on Monday night as part of that Wigan versus Manchester United programme on ITV, I believe. It's a free kick to Wimbledon, off to our right-hand side. Can they make it 3-2? In it loops. It's travelled a fair old distance. Walton plucked it away from his right post. He's gone down after a little nudge from a Wimbledon player. Not been a big rush to get back up. Almost 2 minutes of the added-on 4 to go. Jack Curry awarded a man of the match here for Wimbledon. Certainly been one of our probably 2 contenders, Barry Oda said.
He absolutely was, and as you said, I mean, he's had to put up with Hutchinson turning him inside and out, and now he's got the pace of Burns, so did exceptionally well. Very, very pleased for the lad.
Good play from Dominic Ball, infield to Aluko. Oh, given away by Ipswich Town. Here is Davison. Maybe a chance for Wimbledon. Davison shoots from a long way out. That was very, very ambitious. And was never going to trouble Walton, even if that one had been on target with that kind of lack of power, should I say.
Well, that was the worst thing he's done all day.
It was,
I mean, he's had a fine game up there by himself, and that was absolutely patter cake, wasn't it? It hardly reached the goal.
Goal kick for Ipswich, less than 90 seconds to go. Walton out towards Luca. Another cup victory for Kieran McKenna, who has got more cup victories than the previous 4 Ipswich Town managers all combined. He's had a few in League Cup and FA Cup this last couple of seasons. On he watches. It will be fascinating to see who Town get in Monday's draw, as Twanzebe gives the ball back to Luke Wolfenden. Wolfenden in turn finds Walton. Kieran, short term, would just be pleased that this one is done and dusted on the day. He did not want a match between Sunderland and Leicester, with enough going on off the field at the moment, let alone another match to prepare for. Up towards Taylor, who made it 3-1, the only goal scorer in the second half, clattered into from behind by Johnson. Free kick to Town. Your thoughts welcome afterwards. 0800 141 2121. Chat to Barry and Graham, or text 81333. Start those messages SFK. Here come Town forward once again. Twanzebe on the ball, gives it back to Aluko. That's it. The referee's blown his whistle 20 seconds early by my watch, and that confirms Ipswich Town's passage into round 4 of the FA Cup for the second successive season. First time they've done that for 14 years, after a relatively comfortable, it has to be said, 3-1 win away to League 2 Wimbledon. Deserved victory, wasn't it, Barry? They controlled much of that game.
Yeah, much of the game, and I mean, they'd had a couple of half chances before the first goal. The penalty, obviously an obvious penalty to all intents and purposes, put Wimbledon back in the game, but they never let it disturb them really, and they kept playing, trying to play their football. Obviously more difficult for Wimbledon once they'd gone down to 10 men, but did extremely well. Morsey, as usual, led from the front. Hutchinson had a lot of the ball. He had a very good game. Edmondson played very well. Humphreys, as we've said, looks suited to the left back role, certainly the way they play the left back role with this team, and overall a proper professional championship style performance against a team who were weakened, as you said earlier, but are two divisions below them.
We're all we love to see, we all hope that Leif Davis is fit for Sunderland, and then also Leicester on the horizon. He's been phenomenal since he signed for the club, but signs that Humphreys is growing into that position, getting better and better, and if he has to have a run, well so be it.
Absolutely. So, as you said earlier, he's so mature. He's like 18, 19, whatever he is now, going on 29, yeah, in everything that he does, yeah. And you'd have if Leif is not fit, then I can't imagine that Kieran wouldn't have every confidence in putting him into the starting 11. He certainly wouldn't let anybody down.
And the debutant, Jeremy Sarmiento, what did you make of him, his cameo appearance for Town?
Well, he's very bright. You can see what sort of player he is. He's going to be an on the front foot sort of a player, but he brings another attacking momentum to us. He's certainly a flair player, I think is the term people would most likely to use against him. I can't imagine, though, he wouldn't have been thoroughly assessed beforehand that he can get into the way that we play. I don't think McKenna would bring anybody in that would disrupt either the harmony in the dressing room or the way that we play. So hopefully I look forward to seeing him play and enjoying his performances.
And how big is the worry not seeing Sam Morsey in the next 2 games? Just while you're with us, Barry, you're a massive fan of his. It's a concern, as it has to be.
He is, because without any question at all, he's our best player. He's a captain. He leads from the front. He's never say die. I mean, the energy levels he had is incredible. But we will have to, unfortunately, particularly against Leicester, we will have to do without him. But as they always say, it's somebody else's opportunity to come in. I was impressed with Taylor today. I thought he did very well. A couple of slack little balls, but maybe it's his big chance now to really do something alongside Massimo.
Who do you fancy in Monday's draw?
Well, we've had this discussion, haven't we? We sort of think about it. I think we'd all like to go to the new Tottenham Stadium if it was going to be the Premier League, although I have to say, we've missed them so much. The atmosphere generated at the local derby recently was phenomenal, and if that came out of the hat as well, if they get through today, I wouldn't be averse to that.
Just not Maidstone. You're not so keen on that. You were concerned when Graham said they were ahead earlier on. Let's be honest about this.
I'll give Maidstone a swerve if we do get them, and no disrespect to Maidstone either.
Or the winner of Luton versus Bolton.
No,
we don't want any of that. No, we want one of the big guns. Well, anyway, at least Ipswich Town are in the hat for Monday's 4th round draw after this afternoon's 3-1 win here down at AFC Wimbledon. Kieran McKenna's thoughts on the way.